Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Today I want to explain some material in classroom management. My name is Muhammad Dipo Hasbi from class 33 6B07 with student number 33220176. So let's continue. For the first material is about teaching tolerance. Teaching, toler- Teaching tolerance in the classroom refers to the intentional practice of fostering respect, inclusivity, and understanding among students from diverse backgrounds as a core part of how a classroom is organized and run. There are several key aspects in teaching tolerance. The first one is modeling respect and inclusivity. Teachers serve as a role models, demonstrating respectful and open-minded behavior towards all students, regardless all of their differences in race, religion, gender, or background. The second key aspect is establishing classroom agreements. At the start of the year, teachers and students can collaboratively develop agreements or norms that explicitly value respect for differences and set expectation for inclusive behavior. The third key aspect is using diverse teaching methods. Activities like storytelling, role playing, collaborative projects, and discussions about different cultures and perspectives help students understand and appreciate diversity. So, what is the benefits from teaching tolerance? The first one is the students can improve relationships. Students learn to build positive relationships with peers from different backgrounds, reducing social isolation and exclusions. The second is enhance social emotional skills. Tolerance education supports the development of empathy, self-awareness, and conflict resolution skills. The third is academic engagement. When, student, when students feel respected and included, they are more engaged and motivated to learn. So, we continue to the second material. The second material is about handle anger, frustration, and aggression. Teaching students to handle anger, frustration, and aggression in classroom involves equipping them with emotional regulation skills, providing supportive interventions, and creating a safe environment where they can express and manage strong emotions constructively. There are at least four key strategies in this in handle anger, frustration, and aggression. The first is modeling calm behavior. Teachers demonstrate appropriate ways to handle anger and frustrations, showing students how to respond to challenges without aggression. The second key strategy is teaching emotional awareness. Students are taught to recognize and name their emotions, which is the first step in managing them. The third, providing coping techniques. Techniques such as deep breathing, counting to 10, or visualizing a peaceful place help students calm down before reacting. Fourth, establishing safe spaces. Designating a cool down area in the classroom allows students to step away and regain control when their emotions run high. So, this is the scenario example in managing anger in the classroom. A student becomes visibly upset after receiving a low grade on an assignment. They start to raise their voice and push their books off their desk. How do we respond to this scenario? The first one, we have to be stay calm and non-confrontational. The teacher approaches the students calmly, using a soft tone and open body language to avoid escalating the situations. The second, we're acknowledging their emotions. We can say, I can see you are really upset right now. It's okay to feel angry, but let's find a way to handle it together. When we say things like that, we acknowledge their anger, and when we acknowledge their emotion, we can find the resolution together. The third is allow time to cool down. We have to give the students space and time to calm down, either by sitting quietly, drawing, or using a stress ball. The third material is about disruptive behavior. What is disruptive behavior? Disruptive behaviors refers to an student action that interfere with the students' and learning process by disturbing the focus, flow, or safety of the classroom's environment. These behaviors divert the teacher's attention away from instruction and hinder other students' ability to learn effectively. So these are the common types of disruptive behavior. There are at least six. The first, talking out of turn or excessive talking. Student talking to peers during a lesson, shouting out answer, or debating with the teacher disrupt the class flow. The second is noise disturbances. Noisy searching through belongings, chairs scraping, coughing, or even ringing their cell phones can distract the class. The next one is tardiness. Repeatedly arriving late or leaving early interrupts lessons and requires the teacher to pause or repeat the content. The next is cheating. Academic dishonesty disrupts classroom integrity and requires intervention. The next one is aggression. Physical or verbal aggression like hitting, shoving, or even threatening behavior can create an unsafe environment in the classroom. The next is ignoring instruction and defiance. Refusing to follow teacher directions or disrespecting authority disrupt the classroom order. That's all for the part one. So we continue to the part two. Study case problem solving. Number one. Miss Johnson's Miss Johnson is a fifth grade teacher who has been teaching for over 10 years. This year, she has a student named Alex who frequently display aggressive behavior. Alex often interrupts lesson, talks back to the teacher, and sometimes even becomes physically aggressive toward his classmate. Miss Johnson has tried various strategies to manage Alex's behavior, such as setting clear rules and consequences, positive reinforcement for the good behavior, and speaking with Alex privately to understand the root of his aggression. However, despite his effort, Alex's behavior has not improved significantly. The question is, what classroom management techniques can Miss Johnson implement to address Alex's aggression behavior? Provide at least three strategies and explain how each one could help improve the situation. So, this is the strategies explanation. The first one is Miss Johnson can create a structured routine and clearer expectation by creating a predictable daily schedule with clear, simple rules help reduce Alex's frustration and anxiety, which often trigger aggression. When students know what to expect and what is expected from them, they feel more secure and less likely to act out. Miss Johnson can visually display the rules and routines as constant reminders to reinforce positive behavior. The next is constant supervisions and early interventions. Alex's aggressive behavior often escalates if not addressed promptly. Miss Johnson could closely monitor Alex's behavior to intervene early at the first signs of agitation or frustrations before the aggression even occurs. This could include redirecting Alex to a preferred task, offering a short break, or using calming techniques such as deep breathing or relaxation exercise. These early interventions prevent escalation and teaches Alex alternative ways to cope the emotion. So the last is non-aggressive and consistent consequences. When aggressive incident happen, Ms. Johnson should respond immediately with consistent, non-aggressive consequences, such as timeouts, loss of privilege, or even the removal from class. This teaches Alex that aggression is unacceptable while maintaining a calm, controlled environment. Avoiding confrontation and using clear, calm directives can help de-escalate the situation without reinforcing aggressions. By combining these strategies, Ms. Johnson can create a safer, more predictable environment that minimizes triggers for Alex's aggression and support his learning and emotional regulation. The second problem, Mr. Smith is a 7th grade math teacher who has noticed several students in his class frequently engage in off-task behavior during lessons. These students often daydream, chat with classmates, and or even use their phones instead of focusing on their work. Despite Mr. Smith's attempts to redirect their attention and provide engaging activities, the problem still persists. This off-task behavior is disrupting the learning environment and affecting the overall performance of the class. The question is, what strategies can Mr. Smith use to increase on-task behavior and decrease off-task behavior? So, the first is Mr. Smith can use fixed time teacher attention that delivered every 4 to 5 minutes. This can significantly boost on task behavior and decrease of task behavior. This approach rewards on task student and redirect off task ones, reducing attention seeking disruption and reducing motivation to engage in on in off task behavior. The second is allow brief breaks during the lessons to prevent cognitive overload or fatigue. Varying teaching methods such as group work, hands-on activities, or technology-based and adjusting seating arrangement can also support this engagement. The third solution or strategies is establishing clear classroom routines and behavioral expectation that can help students understand lessons requirement, reduce confusion, and encourage on-task behavior. Mr. Smith can post this expectation, review them regularly, and use gentle reminder to maintain focus, creating a structured learning environment. This adjustment will help Mr. Smith about classroom management principles and complements the other strategies to improve student engagement. So this is the last problem. Miss Brown is an 8th grade English teacher who is facing challenges with a student named Jack. Jack frequently exhibits disruptive behavior in class, such as talking out turn, making inappropriate comments, and distracting the other students. Despite Miss Brown's attempt to manage the behavior through verbal warnings and setting change, Jake's behavior has not improved. This disruptive behavior is affecting the learning environment and making it difficult for all the students to concentrate on their work. The question is, what specific strategies can Miss Brown implement to manage Jake's disruptive behavior? The first one is Miss Brown can create a behavior contract with Jake, outlining expected behaviors, consequences, and rewards, fostering ownership and commitment through collaboration and regular progress check-ins. How it can help: a behavior contract provides a structured framework for understanding Jake's behavior in the classroom, encourage self-monitoring, and promote responsibility. The second is use proximity control and nonverbal cues. Miss Brown can use her physical proximity by standing near Jake during lessons to subtly remind him to stay on task without interrupting the flow of teaching. Additionally, nonverbal cues such as eye contact, a hand signal, or a gentle tap on the desk can serve as a discreet reminders to stop disruptive behavior. How it can help: Jake's disruptive behavior is effectively managed through proximity control and nonverbal cues, preventing escalation and avoiding public reproach that could embarrass him or cause further disruptions. The third strategy is Ms. Brown can enhance student engagement by incorporating interactive teaching methods like group discussion, debates, role playing, and technology based activities, ensuring meaningful tasks are focused. How it can help? By making lessons more engaging and participatory, Jake's need to seek attention through disruption can be reduced as he becomes more involved and interested in the learning process. This all for my presentation today. My apology if they are mispronounced or misunderstood about the material and the problem solving. Thank you very much for attending the presentation.